writing an overview statement. It means that you have to tell me what is the paragraph all about, what exactly is the paragraph describing in detail. After which you select 3 relevant phrases from that paragraph. Example, if I'm questioning you, what kind of a person is Rahul? Then you select 3 phrases related to Rahul. Maybe he is hardworking, he is sincere, he is athletic, he loves sports, anything like that. So 3 phrases related to the personality of the person that you are asked to describe. After which you write your figurative devices which are used in those phrases, or what imageries are used in those phrases. Write, explain it in detail, explicit, implicit meaning. And at the end of it, write the effect on the reader. How would the reader feel when you read this particular paragraph? You're the reader. How do you feel when you read this particular paragraph? So these are your 5 to 6 steps. That is, 6th step is directly at the end. So these are the first 5 steps that you follow in a writer's effects question. I would like to share the question with you now. Is what Clay sees and feels when he climbs the ladder? When this passage we have already done, but that we had done as a journal. So what do you think Clay feels when he's climbing the ladder? What are Clay's feelings in this particular library? So this is the writer's effect question only for the second paragraph. Please read the paragraph, Rahul, loudly.
Lost in the shadow of the shelves, I almost fall off the ladder. I'm exactly halfway up. The floor of the bookstore is far below the surface of the planet I've left behind. The tops of the shelves loom high above. It's dark up here. Books are huddled together, not letting any light through. The air might be thinner too. I think I see a bat. I'm holding on for dear life, and one hand on the ladder and the other on a shelf. Fingers pressed wide.
First thing in the writer's effect question is to write the overview statement. Tell me, what is this paragraph describing exactly? Is Clay happy in the library?
No, miss. He's
No.
quite afraid.
Yeah, he's quite afraid. Correct. He finds the library to be very, very dangerous to be in. Please write that in your overview statement. So your overview statement will include that Clay was very unhappy to be a part of this library. He was pretty afraid. Just because he had to do this job, he was doing it, but was not happy to do it. Like that. Just a short overview statement. I'll give you 2 minutes. Write that, and then we move to the phrases. Clay was feeling isolated, was feeling that the library was dangerous. Anything like that is correct.
I wrote it down.
Okay, coming to the first phrase. Tell me any one phrase from this paragraph which tells you that Clay is unhappy, or anything related to Clay. Clay's unhappiness about the library. Find out any one phrase. Any one phrase related to the question. The question is, what are Clay's thoughts and feelings in the library?
The floor of the bookstore is far below the surface of a planet I've left behind.
I think you can take this, the surface of a planet I have left behind. That phrase would be a good one to go for. Now, if you go for this phrase, what figure of speech is it? You are telling that the bookstore is altogether another planet. What figure of speech is it? You're comparing the bookstore to altogether another planet.
Metaphor.
Okay, it's a metaphor because you're comparing the bookstore to a planet. Now, the explanation over here will be that Clay was so unhappy in this place that felt it is not even a part of our planet, felt that he is altogether in another world. Clear with this one? Meaning of this phrase, you have to also write the meaning, right? The deeper meaning. So the deeper meaning of the phrase would be that Clay was so upset that Clay felt he's not in a library, rather he's in a different planet altogether. He's in a horrible, horrible place. He's in some outer space altogether. So how will you write this? You say that the writer has used the phrase, the surface of a planet I have left behind. This is a metaphor used. The writer is comparing the library to a planet, telling that Clay was so unhappy that Clay felt that he's into another planet altogether. Please write the answer to the first phrase, and then we move ahead with the second one. Now leave a line and start with the first phrase. We have to write about 3 phrases, right, from this paragraph.
Yes.
Yeah. So write about the first phrase. I'll repeat how to write it. Write like this. The writer has used this particular phrase, whichever phrase you have selected, and explain it in detail. Like I just explained that this is a metaphor used, and the writer is comparing the library to a planet altogether.
Okay, miss.
Then we move to the second phrase.
Yeah, miss.
How many phrases are we supposed to explain like this?
3.
Three. So one is done. Now we move to the second phrase. Tell me which is the second phrase that you would like to select.
Books are huddled together, not letting any
Okay.
light through.
Okay. Books are huddled together. That much is also enough. Huddled together will become more of a visual imagery, because you can see them, huddling together. So that phrase would be more of a visual imagery. Explanation of that would be that books are clustered together, like they are put together in a messed up way. It is difficult for a person to search for a book in this kind of a library. It's a very ancient style of library where books are kind of put up in a messed up way. Please write the second phrase. Okay, done with the second phrase.
Yes, miss.
Okay, moving ahead with the third one. Tell me what is the third phrase that you would like to select.
I can't think of any, miss.
Okay, I'll help you. Take the first three words, lost in the shadows. If you see that phrase, you could take that. It
To
talks
say it's
about,
dark.
yeah, it talks about how dark and how nightmarish the place is. And it's also a hyperbole because in reality, this guy is not lost. Another phrase that I would like to share with you would be holding on to dear life. Holding on for dear life. Now, here again, this is a hyperbole used because in reality his life is not in danger, but he has to climb very very high ladders to remove books, and that is what he doesn't like to do. So he feels it is very dangerous to climb these ladders and to find out books, and that's why that phrase is also allowed. So I explained you any two phrases, you write any one out of them. Please start, Rahul, with your third phrase.
Okay, miss.
At the end of this we write the effect on the reader. So what effect did the reader have when the reader reads this paragraph? You can write over there, the reader might feel sympathetic for Clay. Okay, we'd go ahead with the next one. Next question is, describe the inside of the bookstore. How is the bookstore from inside in paragraph 12? So this paragraph starts over here. The next question was, how is the inside of the library? Please start reading the paragraph starting with inside.
Inside, imagine the shape and volume of a normal bookstore turned on its side. This place was absurdly narrow and dizzyingly tall. The shelves went all the way up, fading smoothly into the shadows, as if they might just go on forever. Shelves were packed so close together it felt like I was standing at the border of a forest, an old Transylvanian forest, full of wolves, witches, and dagger-wielding bandits, all waiting just beyond. There were ladders that clung to the shelves and rolled side to side, stretching up ominously into the gloom. I stuck to the front half of the store, where bright midday light pressed in.
Okay, so from this paragraph, tell me, what did you understand in the overview statement? How is the inside of this library? Modern? Is
The
it very beautiful?
the shelves were high.
Yeah, so which basically means that the library was uh, a very, very ancient style of library where books and shelves were very high. It was difficult for people to get books. It was very difficult to enjoy this library that way. Please write your overview statement. Overview statement means what the paragraph is about.
Okay, miss.
What exactly is the paragraph talking about? So it's describing a very very mediocre library, which is not at all modern. It's very very basic. It's very difficult to find books in such libraries. Explanation would be that it's a dangerous place, or it's a very very dark place. Nobody would like to come to this place. All that.
This place was absurdly narrow and dizzyingly tall.
Yeah, that's correct. Absurdly narrow and dizzyingly tall. This now you say that it's a powerful usage of adverbs, because absurdly and dizzyingly are adverbs. So you can say that there is a powerful usage of adverbs done by the writer, talking about how there was very little space in this particular library. There was actually no space to move, and plus all the shelves were so tall that it would be very difficult to get a book out of this library. So talk about how it was very less of space and how tall the shelves were, making it difficult for any person to get a book from this particular library. Okay, please write the
Okay, miss.
second phrase.
Okay, miss.
Coming to the third phrase after this, uh, can you tell me the third phrase that you would select?
ladders that clung to the shelves and rolled side to side, stretching up ominously into the
Okay,
gloom.
that's yeah. So it's yeah, that's correct. So there were ladders which clung to the shelves and rolled side to side, stretching up ominously into the gloom. But you don't have to write such a huge phrase. You can make it short also. So what does that tell you? What it's a visual imagery. What is the implied meaning?
It was quite. The ladder was too tall that he could only see a bit part of it.
Okay, the ladder was so tall that he could hardly see where the books were kept, and he felt that if he climbs the ladder, he might have a fracture. It would be very, very dangerous. It will be threatening for this guy because it was so dark, he could not see the book, and he will have to climb the ladder, which will be quite dangerous for him. Please write. Next, we start with the vocabulary section of the paper, in which I'll be giving you some meanings and you have to find out a word from the passage which means this. For example, the
Okay.
first one seems to be from the ancient past. Seems to be from the ancient past. Find out a word from the passage which means the same. This is available in the third paragraph, starting with many of the books. Find out a word which means ancient past. Word from line number 6 to 10, which means ancient past.
Okay, miss.
Ancient past.
Antiquity.
Antiquity is correct. Moving ahead with the next one. Second word from the passage, which means looking at the outside edges of the books. Looking at the outside edges of the books. I have already sent you this PPT, so you'll be able to find this. Looking at the outside edges of the books. It's in line number 6 to 10. You have to find out a phrase, not a single word, but a phrase which means outside edges of the books.
Books have the look of antiquity, cracked leather, gold leaf top.
No. Think again.
From 6 to 10, right, miss?
Yeah, line number 6 to 10.
Freshly bound with bright, crisp covers.
No. Think again. Okay, the answer is search the spines. Spines are the book covers in this case. My eyes search the spines means the eyes were searching for the book covers.
Okay, miss.
Please write. Moving ahead with the next one. I hope you wrote it right. Did you write it
Yes,
down?
miss. Yes, miss.
Moving ahead with the next one. 1 minute. Yeah, the question is, what is one word for main office? Main office, one word for main office from line number 10 to 15. One word for main office.
The corporate headquarters of a very new company.
Headquarters is correct, yes. Even if you write an entire phrase, it's correct. Moving ahead with the last one. Plunge dramatically towards. What do you mean by plunge dramatically downwards? Sorry, downwards. When the economy was downwards, it plunged dramatically downwards. Find a word for that from line number 15 to 20. Economy plunged dramatically downwards.
Economy plunged directly downwards.
Yeah.
No, miss.
It's nose dived. If you see the word on the 20th line, the economy nose dived. So nose dived was the word.